So I'm making something called ranch wontons. I love ranch. I love wontons. These are not like the wontons you'd get out at a Chinese restaurant. They're really fun and really festive. So we're starting out with a half of a pound of bulk breakfast sausage. Just your favorite breakfast sausage. And I'm using the old chop and stir to kind of get it going. It's so lean these days that sometimes, which is a good thing, I add just a touch of olive oil just to get it going a little bit. Okay, now you go to the produce section of your grocery store and you pick up some wonton wrappers. That's where you're normally going to find them. They're refrigerated, and that's where they keep them. So if you can't find them, ask. They'll probably have them at your grocery store. They're these little square wrappers, and they bake up really crisp and nice. I'm taking a muffin tin, and you're going to want to do, this makes at least a couple dozen. And I just sprayed it with some cooking spray. And I'm going to line the muffin tin, and these are paper thin. And you really do want to make sure they get separated, and sometimes it can be a little of a challenge. That one wasn't happening. So basically you take the wonton and you make a cute little kind of bundle. Make sure the sides come up in each little muffin cup. These dry out very, very quickly. So once you take them out of the fridge and open the package, you got to get them right in here. That's why that first one wouldn't separate. It was just a little bit dry. So tuck them in, and you're going to, have lots more muffin tins, or do these in batches. I'm taking a little bit of vegetable or canola oil. And normally wontons are fried, so this is going to get them nice and crispy. And now we're going to pop them into our oven. Preheated 350-degree oven. And they're going to be great little containers to hold the filling. So in they go. And we just want them to crisp up. And that happens very, very quickly, so keep an eye on them. I'm a little nervous today because my daughter Ireland is getting braces on right now as we speak. Bob's got her at the orthodontist. For the longest time, the dentist didn't think she'd need braces. And then now they say that she does for a very short time. But anyway, today's the day. So I talked to her before her appointment, and then it's a long appointment. It's like a 3-hour appointment, and then I'm going to be there when she gets all done. But I know she was nervous, being a freshman in high school, But it'll be done before she knows it. Gosh, when I had braces, I had them for like 5 years. It seems like, yeah, seriously, Ann. I really did. That was the olden days, yeah, and I needed them for 5 years. So I'm just waiting for my sausage to get no longer pink and nice and crumbly. And by the way, I mentioned book signings. I have lots of book signings coming up this weekend. Saturday morning, bright and early, there's going to be a Christmas concert at the Wapaka Piggly Wiggly, so I'll be out there starting in the morning. It's going to be tons of fun. From there, I'm headed to Little Chute, to the pig there. Then I'm going to Barnes & Noble in Little Chute. I'm going to be all over the place. Cook's Corner in the afternoon, and then Larry's Piggly Wiggly in De Pere Saturday afternoon. On Sunday, I'm going to be at a couple different festival food stores. Oshkosh Festival Foods Sunday morning, then I'm headed to the Darbway store, and then finishing up at the De Pere store right before the Packers game. So come on out and see me. I love seeing you. I love, a lot of you guys bring me your recipes, and I absolutely love getting them, and it's just fun to see you guys. Okay, so my sausage is now crumbled, and I want to let it cool just a little bit before I start mixing in the rest of the ingredients. And the rest of the ingredients, by the way, we've got some shredded cheddar and some shredded Monterey Jack cheese, or you could cheat, and during the holidays, that's really the way I roll. I like to buy just the packs, the blends of cheese. Best thing ever invented. They do like a Mexican blend cheese, and they have the blends of both the cheddar and the jack cheese right in there. I've also got some prepared ranch dressing. So at home, let that sausage cool down just a little bit more.
Check your wontons.
Ann is reminding me to check the wontons. I will do that. Ooh, they're not quite there yet. In fact, I'm going to crank up the heat just a little bit. Okay. So in goes my ranch dressing. I've got some chopped black olives. These are just from the can. They come already chopped for you. I love black olives. If you don't like them, you could leave them out. I'm a huge fan. And then in goes our shredded cheese. So these are going to be cheesy, sausage, a lot going on, crispy from the wonton. They're really going to be fun, something different. Now you can get the shells baked ahead of time. You can also have this filling done ahead of time and parked in your fridge. So there are some things that you can do ahead of time. You know, when you're entertaining, I always say, kind of put a list together and get her done. As much as you can get done ahead of time, the better. And hors d'oeuvre parties, I think, are a really great way to go for the holidays. You know, rather than doing, or brunches. I love to entertain doing brunches, but full-on dinner parties can get very expensive, and they can be kind of complicated. So if you're just starting to entertain, I really think a holiday brunch is a great way to go. And we did a wonderful brunch show earlier this week. We're also doing a brunch show next week with some more holiday brunch ideas, or just doing an all hors d'oeuvre party. But when you are doing hors d'oeuvres, you want to make sure that you do some heavier hors d'oeuvres. And these ranch wontons are a little bit heavier because they've got the meat, they've got the cheese. You know, the worst thing you don't want to happen is your guests hit a drive-through restaurant on the way home from your party because there just wasn't enough to munch on. So, you know, think about that when you're doing an hors d'oeuvre spread. I also like to think about doing hot and cold hors d'oeuvres, a mix of both. It's winter, it's chilly. If you did all cold hors d'oeuvres, you know, I don't know. I just think that some warm hors d'oeuvres are really a nice thing, especially during the holidays, to do a nice mix, a nice variety. And guys, and you know, myself, like some of the hors d'oeuvres to be a little bit meaty, a little bit, you know, some being, whether it's, you know, beef tenderloin on rolls, or in this case, you know, the sausage and these ranch wontons, or my cranberry meatballs, or, you know, shrimp cocktail. Just some heartier appetizers, I think, are always a good thing. Okay. Just about there. The other thing I wanted to talk about when it comes to throwing a holiday party, it's very, very important to have not only, you know, to have some non-alcoholic beverages for the people who are going to be not, you know, partaking in that. And it's just, instead of just water and soda, I think it's really nice to do a festive non-alcoholic beverage, whether it be just a little bit of ginger ale and cranberry juice with a little bit of, you know, fresh cranberries, so sparkling. There's all sorts of different mocktails that you can come up with so that they're, you know, part of the party. I think that's a fun idea.
How about your mulled cranberry apple
My
cider?
mulled cranberry apple cider, Ann mentioned, is absolutely fantastic and makes the house smell amazing too. And you can get that recipe on our website. Okay, these wontons are taking their good old time. Ooh, they're starting to crisp up though, and they are going to go back in the oven to crisp up again. So if they're not completely crisp at this point, it's okay. So at this point, and if a couple of them kind of lost their form a little bit, they're easy to work with. Just help them out. And you take a little bit of the mixture and pop this back in the oven. So at this point, you can have these guys baked. You can have the filling already made and in the fridge. And then right before your party, put a nice big tablespoon or so of the cheese, sausage, olive mixture into each of the little cups. And these are best served warm. So then you get them back in the oven for another 5 to 10 minutes for the wontons to finish crisping up, and then that sausage filling to warm up and the cheese to get all melty and wonderful. And then I like to decorate them right before serving to keep them nice and festive with just some chopped green and red pepper. And these look so pretty on a platter, a bunch of them all lined up, and then you can just, you know, throw them in the oven to bake more as they're needed. Make plenty. These are going to go quickly, although the recipe does make quite a big batch. So there you go, my ranch wontons. These are absolutely delicious. I promise everyone will love them.